Hello, good morning. It's Spelling with Jules and it's Wednesday. Hello, Oscar. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Carmela, Isla and Lucy. Ronan has been ready from the beginning. Hello, Ronan. Good to see you all. If you've just joined us, this is a spelling lesson where we look at one letter and different ways and sounds to do with that letter. We do a little bit of handwriting, we do the sign for British Sign Language, and we have a little spelling quiz every morning. So if you're new, do the best you can, and I'll explain to you. Hello, Chloe, Nellie and Ruby. Good to see everybody. And I'll explain to you how to mark your spellings for success. So we don't cross out all your words here. We just tick the letters that you've got. Hello, Dylan. Good to see you. Lovely to see everybody this morning. Okay, so let's do our little, first off is where we have a check-in. So how is everybody today? I'm finding that I'm slowing down a little bit during this. Hello, Simon. Good to see you. I'm slowing down a bit, so I'm finding myself a bit more reflective than I usually would be. So I'm thinking about things, I'm slowing down. It's quite interesting. I don't know how you feel. Is everybody feeling good today? A good thing is to check in every morning with yourself. You're great, excellent. I'm glad Chloe's good. And it's a good way to know that you are ready to learn as well. Because if you're anxious, then we know that you can't learn as well. So it's always good to try and calm and be good so you are less anxious. So that's our check-in. Now we're going to do retrieval. Yesterday we did the letter Y and the sound Y. And we've got the capital Y. We've got the lowercase y here and the one with a join. Okay. And so depending on how you write, if, hi Kara, you're good, excellent. Depending on how you write, if you print, then your Y will come down and up and then down and around. If you use cursive, joined up, then again, if that's the line, you would start on the line, go up and down and round. Okay, remember that a bit like a U or an that's the halfway line. Okay, and this is also the halfway line. So your descender, this bit here, goes down to the halfway line on the next line. Okay, so that was our Y and our Y that we did yesterday. And today we're going to do the letter R. But before we do that, let's have our little spelling test. Okay, so number one. These are shuffled up. So they're the 5 we learned yesterday, which are actually getting quite difficult now. And then 5 shuffled up from the first lesson that we had. So some of them you might find easier than others. So number 1 is me. It is me that you're watching on Spelling with Jules. Okay, so number 1, me. Number 2, want. I want a cup of coffee. Want. Remember, if you can't spell the whole word, think about it's all about hearing and then matching a wiggly line on the page with what you hear. So if you can't spell it all, if you're not sure, think about listening to the beginning and the end at least. So want. So want. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3. Okay, is 2. Now, not I walk to the shops, but the number 2. So stuff you would do, that's the number 2, isn't it? But how do you write it? How do you spell that 2? These spellings are all tricky as well if you're new to us. So they're what we call red words. So they don't necessarily follow a phonic pattern. So they're difficult. You have to really memorize them, a lot of it. You can hear the beginning of that though, can't you? 2. Number 4, buy. And again, not the buy with money, but I walk by the shops. We are doing spelling by computer. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5, he went to the shops. He. Okay, so they're 5 shuffled up from the beginnings, the few beginnings. So they're relatively easy. Okay, these ones are much harder that we did yesterday. Okay, because they're getting harder and harder. So number 6, caught. I caught a fish. Caught. Number 7, people. There are people at my spelling lesson. Number 8, brother. Number 8, brother. My brother and I went to the shops. Carmela, number 1 was me. Me. Number 8 was brother. Number 9, father. John's father was Mr. Smith. Father. My father was Mr. Dorby. And number 10, bought. Now this is about buying with money. So I bought a nice plant online yesterday. Okay, I'm missing my garden centres, so I bought a plant online. I bought a plant. All right, I'll quickly run through those again. Number 1, me. Number 2, want. Number 3, 2, the number 2. Number 4, buy. Number 5, he. Number 6, caught. I caught a fish. I caught a cold. Number 7, people. Number 8, brother. Number 9, father. And number 10, bought. Okay. Now, how did you do? Let me explain my way of checking your spellings. Okay, it's much more positive than just crossing it out. So if you've done people and you'd spelt it like this, okay, so say you spelt people like that. People is actually spelt like this. Okay, but instead of crossing out the whole thing, just tick the letters that you got right. So you got P there, okay, and you got that one right. Okay, and you've got an L in it. Okay, so actually, there were only 2 bits wrong with that. So then you can start thinking about, oh, I needed to put an O there. And, oh, instead of AL, it's LE. Yeah? So analyze your spelling errors rather than just crossing it out. So if you cross it out, you don't learn anything. Okay? 10 out of 10, Stephen. Well done. That's excellent news. So how did you do? Let's write them down just in case. Okay, so the first one, me, M-E, M-E. Okay, the second one, once, W-A-N-T. So w-o-n-t, want. And you can see the tricky bit there is there, because the A is an O sound, isn't it? So you might put O. 9 out of 10, Carmela, well done. Number 3 is 2. Was it number 3? I hope I haven't mixed these up. That seems too early, but number 3, 2. T-W-O. And that's tricky, isn't it? Because that sounds like two. Okay, so T-W-O. So you just got to remember that, really. If you took the W out, it would be the other 2, wouldn't it? So maybe you could think of 2 is 1, and then adding the W is 2. So when you do a number 2, you add in a W, maybe. Number 4, buy. Okay, not the. This is the buy where you walk to the shops and you walk past it. You don't go in and buy something, okay? So b, and then this Y becomes the I sound, buy. Okay, he, H-E, E, he. Okay, and often when we do an E, that is the letter E, so it's not particularly difficult, but we often do 2 E's to make the E sound, don't we? Number 6. Okay, these are where we get tricky. So we've got court, and then we've got this really hard bit here, and then a T. Okay, ought, court. Okay, so that is the bit you need to remember and memorize really how to spell. Or just remember A-U-G-H is an or sound. Okay, that works quite nicely. Okay, and the next one, people. This is the one I used for our marking, wasn't it? So people, so you've got P, E, and then this funny O that doesn't really feel that it should be there, pull. So pull, people. Okay, so you've just got to remember in people that EO is the tricky bit right there. Okay, number 8, brother. So we've got br, which is difficult because you'd think that was an O, and then Okay, that bit's a bit easier. So it's this bit here, isn't it? That often people spell it with a U, an sound. So just remember that, brother. Number 9, father. So Okay, now that's tricky because that should be father, really. And there is a word father. If you put an R in there to make ARR, then that's like I'm further ahead. Okay, or we went farther. So that's actually a word about far. But this father, you might have to think about that as father. And then number 10 is bought. Now, as this is buy, I walk by, the money one, you spell like that, B-U-Y, buy. And the past tense of buy is bought. Okay, and it's spelt really differently, isn't it? So b-or-t. So again, this bit like court, but with an O. Court has got an A-U-G-H, and bought has an O-U-G-H. Okay, but I bought a plant on the internet. 10 out of 10, Ronan. Excellent stuff. Good stuff. Okay, brilliant. Lovely concentration. So that's our little spelling quiz. See how you did. Don't worry if you didn't get them all right. Count up your letters that you got right. Okay, never cross a word out. Just count up which letters you got right and then analyze. Spelling's all about being a detective and hearing sounds and then thinking, what wiggly lines can I use to represent? Isla got 10 out of 10. Excellent. Well done. Good stuff, Isla. Okay, so we are now moving on to our letter. And our letter is R. Okay. The sound for the letter R is R. Okay. So we've got the letter R and the sound R. Can you try and do R? R, R. And if you add it into a word, so you go rat. So you can hear that rat, rat. Okay, so we'll look at that. Now, let's quickly look at how you would write that. So here's our line. Our capital takes up the whole of the line, doesn't it? So these dashes are looking at half a line. Okay, so the capital takes up the whole of the line. So we go down, up, round, and down. Okay, I've made that a bit curvy. It's not a very good one, is it? I need my tea towel because it looks all smudgy. Let's try that again. See, you've got to practice, okay, and analyze. So we go down, it's because I was doing it slowly, round, and then a straight line, okay? Does look a bit like K, doesn't it? The K that we did at the bottom, okay? It's just instead of a straight line, it's a curve. Now, if you were printing, i.e. not doing handwriting, this is how you would do that. So remember, this is half the line here. So you only do half the line and you go down, up and round. Okay, down, up and round. I always find it's the hardest one because they can look really different, can't they? Okay, so it's just that I've done the length slightly differently there, but you do need to curve it round. Okay, and then if you're joining, you always start on the bottom of the line, those that have been doing joined up handwriting with me, and you go up, down, up and around. Okay, up, down, up and around. So this is from the top, down and around, and this is up, down and around. And look, if you look at it, it looks very similar to an I or a J or an A. Yeah, can you see how they all look quite similar? Because we're going up and down, and the ul and the t. These are all the I and cousin sounds, haven't they? Whereas when we were doing the curly ones, they were like this. They're all curly. Yeah, can you see the difference? So these all go together because they're nice up and down, even if after that they come down or go across. Whereas these are curly. So that's the order that we've been doing our spelling. Okay, so that's our handwriting. And if you're new to us, just to say that I'm much more interested in getting the formation right rather than being tidy to begin with, the formation and the direction. Because if you start, and a lot of pupils do, they start here and go down. Okay, I don't want to see any of that. Okay, so really practice. You can practice in shaving foam, you can do it in chalk outside, you can use do it in chalk and then a watering can. So really follow the line, okay, up, down and across. And as I say to my pupils often, it's quite relaxing. So if you're feeling a bit anxious today, then actually practicing handwriting can be really relaxing. It's a bit like colouring in. It's quite mindful. So have a good old practice and get the direction of your letters correct and get the formation correct. Okay, that's my handwriting little lesson over. Now the sign, the British Sign Language for R is this. So if you're right-handed, your left hand is the notepad and your right hand is like the pen and vice versa. Okay, so here's your notepad and then you do, and it looks like an R. Okay? R. So that's the sign for R. Now, let's have a look at how many letters or how many words we can use that begin with R. So, rat, ring, can you think of any others? Rabbit. Good, Carmela. Rabbit. Race. Lovely. Race. Ruby. Yeah, good name. And you use a capital. Well done. So Ruby is a name, so we use a capital. But it can also be a stone, can't it? So Ruby, the name, would be like that. And Ruby, the stone, would be with a lowercase. Road, lovely. If you're a reaper. Oh, hello, Isla, friend of Flores. Roundabout. So we've got reaper, roundabout. So round. So round, round. Ring, yeah, ring. So ring. We did that, didn't we? Reinforce, very good. So we've got force. Reinforce. So it's got two R's in there. So it's got this O-R, or, and then this R. Okay, very good. Now, I want to introduce you to a few other R's that we're going to do. We're going to look at the doubling up, but we're also going to look at RH. Can any of you know any R's that attach to, oh good, Rose, Ready, Robin, Rodent, lovely. Now this, can you read this word? So we've got rhyme. So here the Y is an I sound, and then you've got this RH together. Okay, so the H is silent, rhyme. I think a lot of these words come from Greek, might want to look at. And then this one's a good one. This is an animal, and I know I'm not going to try and draw it because I can't for the life of me think about how to draw a rhinoceros. Okay, but look how here we've got rye. Okay, one using an I and one using a Y. Okay, so rhinoceros. And just out of interest for you here, rhino means nose. Can anybody guess what ceros means for a rhinoceros? Okay, it is horn. Okay, so you've got nose horn. That's what rhinoceros means. Okay, so it's got the RH. Now, can you think of any others? I've written, what did I write down? Rhombus. How many of you are doing rhombuses in maths? Okay, so spelling isn't just in English, is it? It's in all subjects. So we've got rhombus, rhinoceros. And another one, has anybody heard of this bird? It's a bit like an ostrich. It's called a rhea. So again, rhea, rhea. And I think I did one more. No, I didn't. Oh, rhythm. So you've got rhyme and then you've got rhythm. There are plenty more. Rumba. Okay, it's a bit like the salsa, rumba. Okay, so that's another way of doing R. Let's write it up here so we know. Okay. I might have to do that H a bit bigger. There we go. So we've got R. Now, the next one is looking at R together. Oh, rhetorical. That's a good one. I've got to write that down. So rhetorical. Now, do you know what a rhetorical question is? Okay, if you ask a rhetorical question, it's where you don't really expect an answer. So you might find at home people say to you, "You trying to be funny? Or did I ask you to do that?" They're kind of questions, and often used in poetry. So rhetorical, yeah, it's a good one. Or you've got the word rhetoric without. So remember we did our root words. This is the root word, rhetoric, and then this is our suffix. Okay, rhetoric is the way that you learn to speak formally. So all our politicians in the House of Parliament use rhetoric often to argue with each other. Okay, good. So that's lots of RHs. And then finally, we're going to do a couple of RRs, double Rs. And first, I thought there aren't as many double Rs as there are S's and things. But absolutely, the first one we've got is one of our spell masters, Florrie. So we've got F-L-O-R-E, Florrie. Okay, double R's. Now, another one I thought of that you'll know from school often is the curriculum. So you can have curricular or curriculum. Okay, and that's got a double R in it. But it's still the same principle. Curriculum. Okay, you can sound that one out pretty well, can't you? How about correlation? So in science, try to include some words that you might know for correlation. Okay, and again, correlation. And something that you do with your spelling, you might correct it. Okay, so there are lots of double R's there, aren't there? Okay, what about blurring? So you've got blur. Now, here's a little trick to know about doubling up sometimes. Okay, so here's blur. It's one syllable. It ends in a consonant. Can you remember what a consonant is? The consonant is the letter. So you've got vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and then all the other letters are consonants. So if a single syllable word ends in a consonant and has a vowel before it, then you double up when you put your ing on. Okay, and that works for quite a lot. Stir. Again, if we look at stir, ends in a consonant, has a vowel before it, and it's one syllable. So I'm relatively confident I can double the R and then put ing. Okay, the last bit to remember about that is that you would do, you've got your root words. So do you remember we talked about root words? So we have our tree. Okay, here's my very well drawn tree. And then there's roots underneath. Okay, so the root word stir is a root. Okay, so that's our root word. And then after it, we've got what we call our suffix, which is the end bit of the word. Yeah. So then we put ing on the end for our suffix. And we know to double it because it's got a vowel before the consonant and it's one syllable. We might do syllables. I'm not sure if we've done those. Okay, very good. Oh, furry. That's a nice one, Chloe. I hadn't thought of furry. Okay, fur. And so fur is your root word. So the root word is fur. And then it's also one syllable, fur, isn't it? And then it's got a vowel and a consonant. So then you can double up. Oh, I'll put furring. You can double up and put a suffix on the end, which in this case is a Y for furry. So, re. Okay, excellent. That's good work done today. Now we've got, before we finish, we've got to do our 5 new words. Okay, so our 5 new words, these are our high frequency words, words that are used lots in the English language, but are a bit tricky to spell. Okay, now this one shouldn't be too difficult, but it is to begin with. So we've got going. So we've got go and then the suffix ing. So our root word go and then suffix ing. The reason it was difficult to begin with is if you know that as an O sound. So until you know O is an O, that's a bit tricky. Okay, going. Number 2, and I'll test you on these tomorrow. Now, this one is a really hard word because it's the number 8. How do you write the number 8? Well, you'd think it would start with an A, wouldn't you? But it doesn't. Oh, no. It's E-I-G-H-T. How bonkers is that? So you've got A, T. So that whole bit there, E-I-G-H. Doesn't make any sense at all that would be 8, does it? But never mind. Number 3. Okay. Oh, today is, or not today, but a day is Monday. Okay, so you've got and then that would be an usually, wouldn't it? So that's an O. So Monday, Monday. Number 4, half. Now, this is an interesting one. And again, you might be doing this with your fractions at home. So you've got a quarter and a third or a half. I haven't done that very well, have I? That's not even a half. Got to put that right down the center. Okay, and then you've got half. And it's and And that L there is completely silent, isn't it? Because we don't say half, we say half. Okay, so that's one to remember. There's another word like that, which is a baby cow, a calf. Okay, spelt the same. Okay, but number 5 is they. And again, A. If you know the EY's a they sound, it's not too difficult. Otherwise it is. So it's THEY. So there we go. I'm going to test you on these tomorrow, plus 5 more shuffled. Got number 1 going, number 2, 8, number 3, Monday, number 4, half, and number 5, they. Okay, quick recap before we go. Hope everybody's okay. We've done the letter R. There's the capital. There's the print, and there's the one with a join for joined up handwriting. It's the sound and it can have this one like rhino, and it can have double R like stirring. Okay, or it can just be R with rat. Okay, thank you everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Toodle pips.